Hello, my name is Jörg and welcome to coachRED.net. In the last video, we did the setup for our user management in Appgyver and Sashido. In this video, we will sign up a new user. Back in the Appgyver composer, I start the journey in the Auth tab. Here I enable authentication. Now direct third-party authentication. Click OK, and Appgyver is preparing a new page for us, the login page. Let's go there. The login page has a logo, username, password, and a login button. That's great. I want to use it for login and sign up, so I start by defining a new page variable. I call this view, and the view will toggle between login and sign up. The initial value is login. Going back to view, I start by dragging in a container, and into the container I place the login button and the paragraph field. The paragraph element is going to be used to toggle between the login and the sign up view, so it should say sign up ? I will style it to make it look a little bit nicer. So it should be centered and under typography, and I add a little margin of 24. That gives it a little bit more space. Great. Now to the logic of sign up. I set the page variable view to sign up, and that's it. Next is the visibility of the container. I only want to show this container when the page variable view says login. I define the parameter view as a formula. The function is equal, and I'm comparing here the page variable view with the string login. And if that is both equal, I get a true. The login container is complete. I can duplicate it and set it up for sign up. Here the toggle should say login. And in the logic, I set the page variable view to the string login. The label of the button should be sign up. And this container should only be visible when the page variable view is sign up, not login. All right, let's save the app and test it in the preview. Here we have our login screen, and we can toggle between sign up and login. Great. Now to the logic of the sign up button. First, I take a look at the REST API guide. In the chapter users, I find the signing up instructions. First, I see that it is a post request. Then I have 3 headers: application ID, REST API key. I have that. The revocable path session, that's a constant 1. The application JSON, the content type, is standard with Appgyver, and I have a request body, username and password. And then I get the structure of the return. It includes a session token. That looks all very fine. Before I start, I defined another variable. I call it session token, and I will save there the session token that I get from the sign-in action. So first let me find the button, the sign up button, and then I also need to install the flow function HTTP request. I need that. I go into the flow function market, type in HTTP request, and there it is. So install and drag it in to connected to the component tab. I don't want the existing connections, so I cut that. The configuration of the HTTP request starts with the URL. I define that as a formula, that's the easiest. The resource URL itself I get from my Sashido dashboard. So there it is, the API URL address. Copy it to the clipboard and paste it over here. This is a string and a formula, so I need to put it into quotes. And I know I also need a relative path. So let me check out the documentation, and there it is, users. I copy that and paste it into Appgyver, the trailing quote, and there it is. Next is the HTTP method. I think it's a post method. Let me just check. Yes, it's a post. Next are the headers. I know I have 3 of them, so I add in value and copy the header description out of the documentation. So in this case, application ID. Copy it and paste it into the header. The value of the application ID I get in my Sashido dashboard. So I go in there, and there it is, application ID, copy it to clipboard and back over to Appgyver to paste it in there. Second header, so add another value and go over to the REST API guide to copy the second header, the REST API key. So copy it and paste it back into Appgyver. And the value, again, I find in my Sashido dashboard. There it is, the REST API key, copy it to clipboard and paste it in the value. Third header goes the same way. I go into the REST API guide, copy the spelling of the header, and for the revocable session, it's a constant, so I can just add 1 to the value. Now to the request body. The request body type is JSON, that's what we want. And the body is defined as a formula, and the formula is a simple JSON, thus the curly brackets, and in there I have here username and password. The first key is username, and the value is a page variable, and my page variable username. The second key is password, and the value is the page variable password. Great. The HTTP request is configured. Afterwards, I want to do 3 things. The first one is that I want to capture the session token. So I go in and drag and set app variable. The app variable should be my session token, and the assigned value is defined as a formula. The session token is in the output of the HTTP request. So I just want to check what the structure is and copy the word session token to paste it into my formula. I define session token as a formula, and in the formula it's going to be the output of another node. And in there it's going to be the response body parsed, that's the JSON. So I select that, dot, and then the session token. Oops, there's a space too much. So perfect, that's it. The login screen has its own page stack. So I need special flow functions to get in and out of it. To get out, I use the dismiss initial view. The third action is an alert. I simply just want to know what comes out of the HTTP request. So I add the alert, and the dialog title is the output of another node, and here the JSON. And that is almost it. I just want to see the session token on the list page. So save it and head over to the list page. Here I drag a container on the very top of the page and put a paragraph in there. The content of the paragraph gets bound to the app variable session token. What's left is to save the app and test it in the preview. Here I toggle to the sign up button, and my username and password is simply Q, and there it is. We have created our first user object and our first session object and have captured the token, and the fruits also are still available. Great! Thank you so much for watching, and in the next video we will log in our user.